Yep. Good night. One thing a lot of these videos have in common is that when something terrible like that happens, everybody's just super chill. The guy's just like, oh, no. What is up, you sex YouTube mother lovers, and welcome back to another episode of the Darwin Awards. Now, as you've heard me say before, guns are awesome. Idiots, well, not so much. When you put the two of those things together, you could end up with what we call a Darwin Award. The Darwin Award, as you may have gathered, is the metaphorical award that you're given when you remove yourself from the gene pool. You do something dumb, evolution does its thing, and the fittest continue to survive. Now let me speak directly to the YouTube manual reviewer who determines whether or not this video gets monetized. I just want to point out this video contains no uncensored graphic violence or death. Anything that is shown is presented in an educational context promoting gun safety. But without further ado, let's jump into our first clip. This is a light machine gun known as an M240 Bravo. This is how you fire an M240 Bravo. This is how you improperly fire an M240 Bravo. Yeah, so that is that's a negligent discharge. My man's almost gave himself the most humiliating Purple Heart of all time. Now the M240 Bravo fires this, which is a 308, 7.62 by 51 NATO. And it fires it really quick, which makes ricochet and shrapnel from our buddy's incident here probably pretty spicy. But if we look into this video a little bit closer, it looks like he was trying to, do the cool guy thing, shoulder the gun, whatnot, but hold it by the bipod. So he puts the gun up like he's gonna grab it by the bipod and misses. And if I had to guess, his finger is already on the trigger, which violates one of the core rules of gun safety. Always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. In his defense, the 240 Bravo is a pretty heavy gun. I think it's like 28 pounds. But in order to try to get a tighter grip there as it was falling, obviously also squeezing the trigger, which sent more than a couple rounds of 308 into the ground in front of him and the ground all around his feet. And speaking of machine guns, that brings us to our second clip. What in the Middle East is happening here? We have a line of dudes who are celebrating in the typical Middle Eastern fashion of taunting gravity. They're firing an underfolder AK straight up into the air. Nah, I'm sure it'll be fine. So we have our first guy, he's firing straight up into the air, handles it like a champ. Figures it's time to pass the torch on to the young buck right next to him. Loads a fresh magazine into the gun, he stands up, and he limp wrists the hell out of it. Definitely at least one of those rounds looks like it could have been at lethal level with a couple of other people around him. I guess he subscribes to the motto of if at first you don't succeed, then try again. Because he gets right back up and just tries to continue out the magazine. Like a champ, I guess. The guy who passed him the gun in the first place is like, nah, homie, you had your chance. No, you done did fuck that up. Maybe do some curls and then come back for the next wedding. Now, of course, as we've mentioned before, firing a gun like this in the air in the first place is dangerous as hell, just because, what goes up must come down. So if you're going to be shooting up anything into the air, maybe use fireworks. I'm sure that can't end poorly. Now, if you're new to Darwin Awards or my content as a whole and you're enjoying yourself so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button. That way, next time we upload a Darwin Awards video, you can watch it before YouTube age restricts it like they did with a lot of the others. But seriously, subscribing helps us out a lot, so does liking and commenting, so go ham in that comment section, at least within recent. Now, our next clip I'd actually seen a couple of years ago. It involves an accident at an indoor range with a full auto Glock 17. Now, if you're not familiar, a full auto Glock is remarkably hard to control, firing at a stupid fast cyclic rate. The result is usually something pretty damn hard to control, which is why a lot of people add vertical grips or aftermarket stocks, that sort of thing. Here we have somebody who's shooting it with a vertical grip right in front of the trigger guard. And he's about to find out one of the main reasons why vertical grips on full auto Glocks sketch me the fuck out.
Hold on.
Yep. Right there.
You get shot?
Oh, no, yeah, you can see it. I don't. Maybe, yeah, we should probably blur that. First off, this dude is hilariously casual after just putting at least one, maybe two or three 9mm holes into his hand and arm.
You get shot? Yeah.
But as to what I said before about vertical grips on full auto pistols like this sketching me the fuck out, is that vertical grips can break or come loose under recoil. Which if you're pushing that vertical grip out forward to try to control recoil, if that breaks loose, you're now directly in front of this very short, fully automatic weapon that is actively dumping bullets downrange. Not necessarily saying you shouldn't use one, but make sure this isn't where you cheap out. Heard a similar story of somebody who did this with a Kel-Tec KSG-12, you know, the shorty like the one that was in John Wick. So dual tube 12-gauge shotgun, vertical grip, brakes as he's trying to shoot super quick and be cool, pulls trigger, deletes a good chunk of his hand. But as for the subject of our video here in the range, it's a good thing he's probably right-handed, because if he was using his left hand for any sort of extracurricular, for jerking off, he would be shit out of luck for quite a while. Now, sticking with the indoor shooting range theme, our next clip takes us to a gun store / range. Here we see the subject of this video standing at the counter here, trying to clear his handguns. I don't know if he just got there or he just got finished shooting, but either way, he's trying to do the safe thing and clear the guns. Unfortunately, he's not doing the safe thing by, while trying to unload and clear the guns, flagging himself and others. And as well, he's flagging his range mate that he does this. Boom. He has a negligent discharge into his friend. It's unclear whether it's like the leg or the pelvic region. Oof. But after this, everybody just kind of stands around doing nothing, either from shock or because they just don't know what the fuck to do at this point. Which is why I'd like to give a quick shout out to this gentleman who's all the way across the fucking room and immediately goes into action. As soon as the gun goes off and he realizes something is wrong, he darts across the room and immediately takes command of the situation. Starts giving people instructions. It looks like he tells the guy behind the counter to go grab the first aid kit. Fucking grade A response under pressure, and it's a really good example of just, if you're gonna be fucking around with guns a lot, or really at all, you should probably know the basics of how to plug holes and not just punch holes. You don't need to be a fucking medic, but learning basic first aid, maybe carrying around a first aid kit, a tourniquet, basic life-saving tools like that, probably serve you pretty well in life. The more you know. We're a couple of minutes into the video now, and it's kind of shitty because the only ones that came close to being a Darwin Award are, when they're winning that award for other people, which is really not how that's supposed to work. It's supposed to be removing yourself from the gene pool accidentally, not, other people. Although this should be a good example of why you should probably minimize your time spent around idiots. Anyhow, here's what would be a potentially technical Darwin Award. Here we have something from a video aptly called, I suppose, British Shoot Guns for the First Time. Here we have what I assume is a couple going to the range. It's a great recreational activity, hopefully a learning experience. Usually if you tell an instructor that you're a new shooter, they're happy to walk you through the rules of gun safety and teach you how to do it properly and safely. In the first 3 seconds of the clip, she almost shoots her man in the heart.
That way.
Oh my god.
Oh god, I feel like she's violating like all 4 rules of gun safety right here. Not only is she obviously flagging her man here, flagging, for those of you unfamiliar with the term, is when you are pointing a weapon at somebody. Like if you're at a range, you turn around and you end up pointing the gun at your friend, you're flagging them, and that's a great way to get your ass kicked in most circles. Gun people tend to take that very seriously. But she's flagging him super hard from a very close distance while she's trying to insert the magazine and load the gun. Even the act of inserting a magazine like that, depending on your grip and a couple other things, the firearm, whatever, just inserting the magazine could be enough to drop the slide, which is going to send a round into the chamber, meaning you have a live weapon. All you need to do is pull the trigger from that point. Which is convenient because if you look closely, she clearly has her finger on the trigger. And that's when our Superman comes over, the range safety officer, or RSO, has the only appropriate reaction that I can think of.
Oh my god.
Yeah, oh my god is fucking right. I love how he spins the camera back around the other way as if he's like, hey, I'm about to give you like a fucking ass chewing right now. You might not want to record this to Facebook Live or whatever the fuck you're doing. An ass chewing that was probably well deserved considering she was, one bad finger movement away from unaliving her range date, sending him to the big crumpet party in the sky, which I think would qualify as technically being a Darwin Award. Because think about it, you're removing the person that you were going to breed with. It's gotta count for something, right? Partial credit. So our next video I could not make up if I tried. So here, if I had to guess, I think we're back in the Middle East, either that or maybe South America. We have our security guard here who is hard at work guarding a lot of motorcycles. He's asleep. He's fast asleep. Now, of course, you're not supposed to sleep on the job, so he doesn't have a pillow or a bed or anything. No, he's instead resting on his shotgun. Yikes. Well, he's awake now. Yeah, he's clearly a bit confused. At least he's up and standing. God, let's see that shot again.
pathetic.
Well, he didn't Cobain himself. I guess that's the good news. It does look like he has opted for the shortcut to a Michael Jackson nose job, though. Goes over and grabs that rag, and you can see, yeah, he's a little messed up. I can't imagine what leads to the point where you're willing to rest your face on a shotgun barrel, let alone one that you know is completely loaded and ready to go. I don't know what it is about shotguns, but people seem far too willing to rest on them for whatever reason. Let's not forget the infamous photo of the cop literally sitting on his duty shotgun. The memes write themselves. I also find it kind of hilarious that his local newspaper called him out for this. Nowadays, it would just be social media calling him out. Kind of like I'm doing now. Not like social media needs any more reasons to hate gun content anyway, but hey, at least I try to use this platform as kind of, maybe a teachable moment. Speaking of social media hating on gun content, if you'd like to check out a 2A-friendly social network, marketplace, directory, that sort of thing, go ahead and check out the guys over at Arms Directory. I actually got to meet these guys recently, and I kind of dig their mission and a lot of the pro 2A tools that they're trying to build for businesses. I dig what they're trying to do for Second Amendment folks, so if you want to check them out, I'm going to go ahead and leave the links down in the description and the pinned comment. We appreciate their support. Hope they do well. Now, would this really be an episode of the Darwin Awards if we didn't talk about tannerite? Tannerite, for those of you who don't know, is a brand of low-grade explosives, like a binary explosive that you can use out at the range. They're technically labeled as a reactive target, which is pretty cool. Basically, you shoot it with a bullet that has enough velocity to it, and they explode. I've been shooting with them for fun for like a decade now. They're really neat, and they're actually safe to use as long as you use them properly. Yeah, a lot of people fuck that last part up. So we've got this gentleman who's shooting at a very, very close distance, I might say, to a washing machine that I'm assuming is loaded with tannerite. Let's see what happens. Holy shit. First off, I can tell why he's shooting at it from this close now, because even at this distance with a rifle, it's taken him like 5 rounds just to hit this damn thing. But once he does, dear God. You see, something a lot of people don't understand about explosives of really any kind is that they're omnidirectional. They explode outward in all directions and impart force around anything that's around it, whether that be the air or, let's say, pieces of a washing machine. Now, you can blow up all sorts of cool shit with binaries. Based on the instructions, you're technically not supposed to, but let's face it, it's really fucking fun. Be sure to maintain a safe distance. If you can, be behind something. Cover works. But what you definitely don't want to do is be too close and have the explosive be inside of something, like a washing machine. Or alternatively, a microwave.
Holy shit! Oh my god! Dude! God damn! Holy shit!
God.
Holy tits!
To be honest, I knew this clip was going to be rad when I saw the Live Leak logo. Rest in peace, Live Leak. You made some of us grow up way too fast. But not as fast as the door to that microwave.
Holy shit!
Again, this goes back to the whole omnidirectional thing, which means that if it's exploding outward and blowing that microwave to pieces, any piece of that microwave, like say a door, that's facing your direction, is gonna get blown in your direction, which is how you turn your Hot Pocket heater into an IED. Don't do that. Now, this next video is a great example of, again, what happens when you don't follow the basic rules of firearm safety. And unfortunately, this guy's friend pays the price. And let me just clarify before we press play, the only version of this that I have is the edit. So apologies in advance if this is a little fucked up. Yep, good night. One thing a lot of these videos have in common is that when something terrible like that happens, everybody's just super chill. The guy's just like, oh, no. I've seen people react more upset to their favorite sports team losing, even if they don't follow sports. But this is why it's just super important to have a culture of gun safety. I mean, there's multiple people in this video. Like the dude if you're watching the video to the left, it's just like walking around with a handgun pointed just out at anybody that's walking around him. To reiterate the 4 basic laws of gun safety: keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Treat every gun as if it is loaded. Know your target and what's behind it, and never point a gun at anything you're not willing to destroy. Our trigger man here violated all of those rules while loading his handgun, which is why the vast majority of these Darwin Awards videos don't do so well in the monetization department, but you know what, I think it's important. You receive entertainment and gun safety tips. I receive no fucking money. The worst trade deal in the history of trade deals. Now, this next video I feel like we have to talk about because this no shit gets sent to me probably at least once or twice a week. It was actually so much that we had to make a rule to stop people from posting it over and over again in the subreddit. I only want to bring it up to show why I haven't included it before and why I refuse to include clips like it in Darwin Awards. This is a clip of a Russian soldier from a year or two ago, hanging out with his friends. He uses his phone to record while he decides to load and chamber a full auto Frank AKS-74U and sticks it under his chin. And then lets it rip. You can pretty much imagine what happens. So yeah, this is a screenshot of a man who is no longer alive. No, I'm not going to be sharing the video. You could probably find it. It's been shared a lot over the last year or so. I've avoided featuring this video for so long that it's probably obvious now that I've been doing it intentionally. Darwin Awards, at least the way we've done them, are supposed to be accidents. They're stupid people doing dumb things, and we both laugh at them and learn from their mistakes. This is someone deciding to intentionally punch their own ticket. That doesn't feel the same. Things like this aren't funny accidents. They're real people experiencing real things like depression, hopelessness, and anything else that could make somebody opt for the self-checkout line. And the odds are, people that you know are experiencing similar feelings right now. You may not even know about it. Call a friend. Call a friend. Life is too short not to have that one lunch that might make all the difference. And if this sounds like you, and you think that nobody cares, you're wrong. But if you feel like you need it, just remember there's always a number that you can call. After all, guns are amazing tools for self-protection. But the only person that can protect you from yourself is you. So with all of that in mind, I look forward to being able to tell you guys for a long, long time to come. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Thanks.
Fuel is my obsession to make the perfect weapon, like Rasputin's rise to the top.
She's clearly not treating this gun as if she's loaded. She's probably treating the gun as if she's loaded, frankly.